with a flower, with a flame. The winds of magic. Mortal magic. Castles of ice and mists. Magical fortifications have been raised in Hahnmark, Bragisland and Calavesa. During the autumn equinox, imperial magicians raised a total of 5 magical fortifications in the Empire. One of them was called from the domain of the Breath of Winter, a great castle of ice and granite raised in the hills of Kulpamark, Hahnmark, by the voices of the unbound storm of Wintermark. At the same time, the Susavari Frost Coven of Wintermark and the Moons and Stars of Dawn raised 4 castles of mists over the fens of the Rushes and Ottermire in Bragisland, and the marshes of Westmarsh and Calavesa Marsh in Calavesa. Shrouds over the Brass Coast. There are shrouds over the territories of Madruga and Karaman. Penumbral veil hangs over the freeborn territories of Madruga and Karaman. The inky black night skies that previously hung over Ossium and Semahome have dissipated. Explosions in the sky. A strange and magical light show happens in the sky over Bastion. A few days after the winter solstice, shortly after dusk, miraculous lights appear in the night sky of Bastion. People stream out of their chapters, many interrupting their evening meal, to watch in awe at the explosions of light above them. There is an explosion across the night sky, silent, but made of 1,000 stars sparkling in a technicolor riot of colour and majesty that can be seen throughout Bastion. The lights trickle down across the sky before swirling into a mass. Each moment the mass forms into another figure, another face, each a brief moment where there might be recognition before it transforms into another. These figures are seen in an array of actions: sermonizing, preaching, casting magic, healing the sick, walking the trods, clad in armour in the depth of battle, or simply sat in quiet contemplation. When the final figure is seen, the swirling torrent of stars combine to form a grand, shining tower of massive proportions. A procession of veiled figures, shimmering in brilliant white and gold, walk away from the structure, led by one with an eagle-topped staff. The tower fades away as a long line of veiled figures march across the night sky, leaving trails of glimmering stars in their wake. They walk with silent purpose, a strength and pride in each step. The star-like lights that fall to the earth manifest themselves in golden-robed figures who follow the paths and roads and streams of Bastion in silent motion towards some unknown point. If one were to interact with these figures, they'd receive no response. They are mere apparitions, formed by the grand display of magic on show. Finally, the trail of skywalkers and golden apparitions seem to come to a head, their goal seemingly being the White City itself, the white granite spires illuminated by the glittering lights of the sky upon reaching the city. They stop, and there is a moment of silent anticipation, the veiled ghost-like figures peering up towards the sky. The front figure with the eagle-topped staff steps forward and plants the staff into the sky above the White City. Suddenly, there is a momentary blinding light, another silent explosion, which seemingly obliterates the figures in the sky and upon the ground, absorbing all, leaving behind a solitary glowing star, brighter than all amongst the night sky. Over the course of the evening, the star slowly lowers itself towards the White City until it reaches the top of the tallest spire of the highest basilica. There, the glowing beacon remains in place for the duration of the season. Through the Black Gate. During the spring equinox, it will be possible to perform Whispers Through the Black Gate between 20:50, 10 to 9, and 21:50, 10 to 10. The current Imperial Necromancer is Enchantress Claudia Vokalova Remise. The Black Gate can be opened to allow Masters of Winter Magic to commune with the spirits of the dead. For reasons that have never been adequately explained, the gate can only be opened at twilight, when it's neither quite day nor quite night. Imperial magicians prognosticate that this means during the spring equinox, the ritual can be performed in the hour between 9 and 10. This information is of course of particular relevance to the Imperial Necromancer, given their powers and responsibilities. COVID restrictions for Through the Black Gate. We often have players come to the makeup department for help with wounds and lineage trappings when they're being the subject of a Whispers Through the Black Gate. Due to COVID restrictions around providing makeup for players at this event, we're not going to be able to assist with this. Players will have to do any makeup themselves using their own supplies in a space that's not our makeup area. Denizens of the Realms. Basilius Flint. The game of Cunning Curses will be taking place at the upcoming Equinox. Those holding invites are asked to be in the Hall of Worlds for 9 o'clock in the evening on Saturday. Last season, heralds from the City of Locks announced that the Prince of the Black Vault intended to run a game of Cunning and Curses during the Spring Equinox. There are only 7 places available, and the winner's prize will include the opportunity to act as Basilius Flint's representative to the Empire for a year. Of the 7 invites, 3 have already been made available to the people of the Empire, offered to auction houses during the winter solstice. Brazen arrived in Anvil just a few minutes before midnight, a few weeks before the summit, and woke up Florian Everwatch to explain in great detail how 3 of the remaining invites had been offered to the Archmage of Autumn, the Grand Master of the Rod and Shield, and the Grand Master of the Celestial Arch for them to give to an agent of their choice. Brazen stated, with a smirk, that the final invite has been offered to Ashbourne Trosk in return for 11 thrones, explaining to the harassed civil servant that Trosk will understand what that means. When Florian asked Brazen what the rules might be for this game, Brazen only grinned and said that they will be visiting Anvil at 7 hours past noon on Friday to distribute keys to those who hold the invites. And that if Catellus di Tassato Rogario of Cat's Curiosities could make themselves available at that time, they'd love to have a chat. Lashinar's game. Lashinar will be attempting to make use of the Imperial Regio from 8 PM until around 10 PM on Saturday evening as a stage for their great game. During this time, the Regio will be under a ritual of the Eternal's making, and so will be unusable by other magicians. Those chosen to participate in the game have had invites delivered by keening multicoloured birds of night. Lashinar invites all, participants or otherwise, to attend and watch. The game itself. The game shall join Regios of night from across creation. Through the power of Lashinar, the barriers of distance and comprehension will be rendered inconsequential. Lashinar has sent a collection of heralds to facilitate the ritual to each Regio. It's through these beings that the players will face each other. The ritual will require attunement to each participant. This will link the Regio to one far distant and allow any action or speech performed in one to be copied exactly by the herald in the other. In this way, communication is possible. Attunement requires a token of the participant's passion, some emblem or object that captures an element of their identity. Once this item is set upon a provided altar within the Regio, and the participant announces how they wish to be known, the herald at the Regio at which their opponent stands will be linked, and vice versa. There will be 10 minutes for the so-joined players to speak, to argue, to espouse their loves, desires, to bare their innermost beings. Then, finally, each will be asked for their farewells and to reflect upon the experience and the transformative power of speech. When attuned, the heralds will be unable to perceive anything within the Regio. The entrance of any other being, save heralds of Lashinar themselves, will cause the attunement to falter until only the herald and the attuned participant remain. Come the next season, Lashinar will delight over the results of the game and choose a winner from each Regio to receive their prize. Surut. What mood is the Charred Prince in? A strange one, it seems. A pair of his heralds recently visited the Castle of Thorns, declaring themselves to be burning ice and biting flame, and demanding to speak to a civil servant who would pass their knight's words to the Empire. The Ashen Knight wants attention, and he demands it in a very specific form. Between the times of 7 PM and midnight on the Friday evening of the Spring Equinox, he claims that he has bound the ritual of tribute to the thrice-cursed court to his ends. Between those times alone, if a single sheet of paper about the size of a human hand bearing a written message is added to the box during the ritual, he will receive it. The note must be accompanied by a magical item well known to Imperial artisans that will be exchanged for heart's blood, the V's of winter, in the standard manner. From among those who send messages, the Charred Prince will select a number who will be invited to a winter chamber this very equinox. The heralds make clear that the visit will not be an audience with Surut himself. Instead, visitors will meet the same heralds that brought the message. They warn that any who attend must become prepared to bargain without fear of pain. What kind of bargains might be expected? Ask those who know of the court, and of the Ashen Knight in particular. The Charred Prince can lend considerable support to armies fighting the Valorn, though the price he asks for, that is well known, a region consumed in flames. Imperial citizens should remember that Surut, the Charred Prince, is under neutrality. The visit to meet his heralds is therefore permitted by Conclave. The casting of the tribute to the thrice-cursed court is, of course, currently prohibited under Conclave's rules. This is because Skaith of the thrice-cursed court is under enmity. Whether the Conclave decides to make an exception for this specific use of the ritual will be up to them. The ritual will work, of course, whatever they decide. Barrion. Barrion is sponsoring a tournament for the finest preachers of the Empire. Barrion is preparing for an audience with the Ice Walkers of Wintermark at the summer solstice. Barrion, Lord of the Crossroads, wishes to test the eloquent and the articulate of the Empire. The host of hosts has called on each nation of the Empire to send one of their own to the Glory Square of Dawn on the Sunday of the upcoming summit. Barrion has invited the Grand Master of the Sevenfold Path, the High Bard of the Empire, and any single Dornish cardinal to attend as a judge of the contest, or failing that, to send a representative to judge in their stead. Revel, the capable and adroit herald of the Traveller, will be available to answer some questions on the contest on Friday. Barrion has publicly challenged the Ice Walkers of Wintermark, giving them a year to complete his task. Mindful of any delays that might be caused by the strange effects of the recent mists, Barrion has indicated that he has moved the deadline for his challenge to the summer solstice, and is making preparations to meet with the Ice Walkers then. If the Ice Walkers have already completed his challenge, then they have one more season to try and improve on what they've managed so far. If not, then there is one last opportunity to triumph. He has also instructed his herald, Revel, to seek out folk who are currently engaged in challenges, especially those that began before the mists stole so many memories, or which have been running for some time. Officially, Revel is checking to see if people are ready to complete their challenge. Unofficially, the herald has been playing that in addition to discovering where they're up to, he is keen to know what, if anything, he can do to help them before the final meeting with the half-handed lord. The Forest Affray. Barrion invites certain winterfolk and the Academy cadets to quest in the Forest of Affray. The cadets will need to form 3 teams with different skill sets required. The Academy opportunity takes place at 15:45, 3:45, on Saturday. The Forest of Affray has been opened to Imperial citizens, and is clearly too good an opportunity for Barrion to resist. Revel, one of Barrion's favoured heralds, lets it be known that there are certain winterfolk completing a Challenge the Iron Duke, who've also been invited to the Forest of Affray. Their visit is foreseen at a different time from Hayak's challenge, and they will be contacted directly. In addition, the Lord of the Crossroads also invites the cadets of the Academy of Heroes to come and take part in a series of special hunts in the Forest of Affray. The Academy will need to organise 3 different teams to take part. One team will be hunting a team of strong and obdurate warriors. One team will be hunting a group of sly, quick-moving summer spirits. And one team will be fighting a terrifying monster. The cadets should certainly seek out the 3 refrains to learn more about the possible prey that they may face. These hunts will take place at 15:45, 3:45, on the Saturday of the spring equinox. Challenge for the college. The Archmage of Summer has announced a new challenge for the patronage of the Icy Crag of the Eternal Sun. With the challenge issued, College of Magic has no special patron. The tourney is expected to take place during the summer solstice, 384 YE. The Iron Duke has offered his assistance in the smooth running of the tournament. Who better to account for the volatile demands and nature of the rulers of the Summer Realm than one of their own? As such, his trusted herald Revel visited Anvil last season to gather information from Imperials on some of the intended rules for use during the tourney. It appears that any Eternal who wishes to offer patronage to the college must find 3 Imperial magicians willing to fight on their behalf using only mage armour and implements. Some Eternals have already made arrangements. Others are expected to try and recruit their team during the spring equinox 384 YE. Of the summer Eternals interested in the Empire, only Rhiannos, Eleonaris and Yaharis have not made preparations of some kind. It's possible the first is disinterested or hasn't noticed. Eleonaris is currently angry with the Empire, but it's more like Jaehaerys that they're up to something. Not only Summer Eternals are interested in the patronage of the college. While the college focuses on summer magic, there's no requirement that the patron be a Summer Eternal. It would be odd to have an Eternal of Autumn or Night service the patron, but presumably they'd still be able to offer support to the magicians in their own way. And those who've expressed an interest have certainly demonstrated their ability to do so in the past. 2 Eternals, Prospero and Cathan Cannae, have already indicated that they intend to discuss this matter during their parley. As to the others... Adamant. Adamant has already put a team together. Unfortunately, it appears that at least half his team may already be dead. Shortly before the spring equinox, a blue-scaled koboldi delivers a message from Adamant. It seems that although the King Under the Mountain had arranged a team for the tourney in good time, rumour has reached him that some of them will no longer be able to take part. He intends to send a message to the surviving member of the trio, to Sejanus of Urizen, in the hope that they will have time to find some other people to fight alongside them in the coming tourney. The Koboldi are already feverishly at work crafting new mage armour for these new champions. Maraud. Maraud seeks 3 mighty magicians to represent him in the upcoming challenge. The Eternal has asked the Knight Protector of Summer to help arrange a contest to find the strongest competitors. The Knight Protector of Summer is currently Lady Izette, the Mournful. The contest will begin in the Glory Square in Dawn at 1500 hours, so 3 o'clock in the afternoon, on Saturday. Maraud seeks 3 of the mightiest magicians in the Empire to fight on his behalf for the Summer College at the next summit. As a glorious endeavour, he requests that the Glory Square be used for this between 3 and 4 o'clock on the Saturday of the summit. He asks that the Knight Protector of Summer, or their proxy, help to arrange a contest for which they will be duly rewarded. He makes no overtures to the Archmage of Summer, Grand Master of the Rod and Shield, or Master of Ice and Darkness, other that he would be honoured if they would come and test their mettle or sponsor champions to fight in this contest. To be eligible, one must only be an Imperial Mage who believes they are capable in battle magic, and will also be available at the following summit. Use of any wondrous artefacts and potions to increase their potence is encouraged, although contestants may wish to be aware that the ever-flowing magic of the Summer Realm will be in abundance for them to use in this contest. Naturally, the winners will be handsomely rewarded by the Summer Magician, and should they win the Summer Tournament, cementing Maraud's position as the patron of the college, he will grant them both audience and favour. Hayak. Hayak intends to present champions for the coming challenge. He offers invitations to 5 people to each gather a team to compete in the Forest of Affray. Since Hayak lost his hold over the Forest of Arden and took a massive blow to his prestige, he's not been content to just sit and wait. His heralds, Prey and Chain, have been a regular presence at Anvil and well known to certain summer magicians. With their help, Hayak retrieved a valuable silver acorn and claimed stones of power sought by his bitter rival Jaehaerys. Now, it seems that the Lord of the Crossroads, the Iron Duke Barrion, is providing support to Hayak's struggle, and has lent an old hunting ground and the creatures in it to the one who used to be the Hawklord. Hayak invites teams of battle magicians to venture into the hunting ground, to display their power, and to win the right to represent him in the tournament. This competition will take place in the Forest of Affray, which can be reached through a regio in Axmuir in Semerholm. The Sentinel Gate will allow access from Anvil starting at 2:45, so 2:45, on the Saturday afternoon of the solstice. Yet it will do no good to go through the Sentinel Gate without a certain token. The Forest of Affray is reached via a summer regio, and whilst Barrion has opened the doors of that regio, they can only be crossed by someone with Hayak's blessing. On Friday evening, a herald of Hayak will visit Anvil and give tokens to the 5 people Hayak invites to create teams to face his competition. These candidates for the favour of Hayak are Morian, who has made himself indispensable, the Eternal Family of Navarre, who have aided greatly, the Guild of Hunters, whose love of the hunt is known to the Hawklord, Archmage Luke, or an associate should Luke wish to remain neutral in this matter, the voices of the Unbound Storm, who have attracted Barion's attention and are included by his will as part payment for allowing Hayak to use the Forest of Affray in this way. Each team should consist of 3 battle magicians who are willing to fight in the Grand Magical Melee for the Summer College, and 2 others who will support them. Those who fight should expect challenges with heralds and guardians of the Summer Realm in order to earn feathers that proclaim their skill. Some will be fast-moving and others at a slower pace. They should fight the same way they would in the tourney, with mage armour and implement to show the Hawklord their skill. Those who accompany them will not fight, and instead be in a safe area in the woodland. It's some distance to reach it, but they will have no need to move once there, and seating will be available. Their challenges will be of a different nature. All who take part are recommended to seek out stories of the Forest of Affray and to leave word on the poster board at the hub of where they can be found before and after Conclave. The herald will not arrive during the session. Sodogua. The brother of wizards requests that a highborn magister, Azrakal, son of Night, recruit 2 others to form a team to represent him. In a somewhat surprising move, Sodogua has named a single champion, Azrakal, son of Night, a highborn magister. According to the herald that delivered the message, the brother of wizards asks Azrakal to put together a team of battle magicians, and asks only that the team not involve any members of the chapter of Felix's Watch, for reasons he has no intention of explaining. It appears that the Globbersnatch had intended to arrange some sort of party this season to recruit a team of champions, but apparently Azrakal has so impressed him that he feels no need to do so. Either that, or his feelings have been hurt by a certain failed declaration before the conclave, and the mighty father of bats is sulking again. Agrement. Blood on the Snow invites anyone who thinks they can get away with it to represent him in the summer tourney. He offers boons to anyone prepared to risk it, and his favour to anyone who actually manages to win. Because of course Agrement wants to stir up trouble. Blood on the Snow has let it be known that if any trio of battle magicians is prepared to take up his banner, ideally an actual physical banner marked with the rune Neve, and fight for him in the summer tourney, he'll grant personal boons to any who survive the tourney and the resulting legal complications. If they actually win, by whatever means, and secure him the patronage of the college, he'll provide them with a personal audience and the benefits of his enthusiastic favour. In theory, there's no reason Agrement can't become the patron of the Icy Crag. While legally it would be impossible, it's likely that the nature of the tourney means that whoever wins, wins. Out of the frying pan, conjunction. Maraud has asked the Grandmaster of the Celestial Arch to help rescue fleeing magicians from the Iron Confederacy. The Summer Mage will be sending a herald to the Sentinel Gate at around 7:45, 7:45 on Saturday. The Iron Confederacy is by all accounts experiencing a period of unrest. The depredations of the Hand of Demon have led the priesthood of Arav the Silent Judge to crack down on magicians, and not everyone who comes to their attention considers themselves a servant of that dark Sarani god. Mere hours before the Spring Equinox Summit is due to begin, a herald of Maraud appears at the Imperial Regio with an urgent message for the Grandmaster of the Celestial Arch. Maraud would very much like their assistance in rescuing a small group of renegade magicians attempting to get across the border from Arbonne into the sanctuary of southern Segura. Unfortunately, their efforts to flee have brought them to the attention of the priesthood of Arav, who are even now closing in on their position. The herald knows that one of these magicians is a friend of Maraud, and the others are all equally innocent of any involvement with Demon. They're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maraud considers the Celestial Arch of the Conclave Order with the most experience in negotiation and compromise. He asks that the Grandmaster gather a group, and to be on the safe side, include battle magicians as well as negotiators, and meet his herald at the Sentinel Gate at around 7:45 on Friday evening for a trip to Kalino Tower. It's a watchtower right on the southern border of the Bross Coast. Diplomacy will be key. The Grandmaster may need to fight. If the magicians can be freed from their captors and brought back to the watchtower, then Maraud's friends among the Freeborn will be able to help them back across the border to safety. The Iron Confederacy will not pursue. His herald will be able to give more details when they meet the Grandmaster and their allies at the gate. Success and failure. The herald will presumably explain the consequences of success, rescuing the Serrani magicians, and failure, leaving them in the hands of the Arav.